Athletic did have their quarter season reports on like all the teams. This was a few days ago, so things have changed slightly. But for the Sharks, care to guess what grade they gave the Sharks? I'll
NA.
I'll give you a hint. They're grading on a curve,
A
so
B.
it's an A plus.
Okay.
So they said the goal for the Sharks this season was to be better. Sitting just outside the playoff position after starting with a 0-4-2 record didn't seem realistic, but here they are. Uh, second year coach Ryan Warsofsky has pushed and prodded a receptive group that's become appointment viewing due to the ascendant 19-year-old superstar Macklin Celebrini. He isn't alone. Will Smith hits the score sheet often as a blossoming running mate, and Yaroslav Askarov is excelling in goal after a shaky start. So, I mean, absolutely right. That's Eric Stevens for the Athletic. Yeah, he's absolutely right. And I mean, they said that they're sitting just outside of the playoff spot. After this last week, I'll talk about the scores specifically in a second. Spoiler alert, the Sharks are in a playoff spot. They are a third of the way through the season. It's no longer a small sample size. They played a third of their games. We're 27 games out of 81. Out of 82. They're sitting in seventh place in the Western Conference. They're sitting as the top wildcard team. They're in the playoffs if the season ended today. That's crazy talk. But they go 2-2 over this last week. They played Colorado on last Wednesday. They got cheeks clapped. Okay, they lost 6-0. Okay, cheeks clapped. You move on. All right. Askarov got pulled 5 minutes into the second period. That one was after the fourth goal by Colorado. All right, we move on. Take the L there. Then they come back on Friday against Vancouver. They get the 3-2 win. That was me and Sam's win of the week. Smith, Eklund, and Gaudette get the goals. Celebrini had 2 assists. Toffoli, Wenberg, Klingberg, Kurashev also had assists. Askarov comes back with a 941 save percentage, 32 out of 34. And flip your calendars to 2011 because this rivalry is so fucking back, baby. I loved it. There was a lot of sandpaper, a lot of
Very
roughness.
chippy. Very chippy.
Chippy is an excellent word for this one. There was a lot of anger, a lot of rough stuff, a lot of hate back and forth. So this is great. I love seeing it, man. This is a lot of fun. I love that old rivalry with the Sedin twins. And if we're gonna get some of that back, with all 3 Pedersens, no relation for them though. So that's gonna be a lot of fun for us. So it's gonna be in the chat, Papa G says it's earlier than expected. Would have figured it'd take another couple of years, but you know what? If they're playing competitive and they're in the playoffs right now as it stands, but even if they don't hold on to it, the fact that they're here and they're making noise and they're being a pain in the ass to all the other teams, I love it, and that's what we wanted from this season, right? So here we are, and it's time. So on the second end of the back-to-back, they played Vegas on Saturday. They end up losing that game 4-3.
Man, that was painful to see our old boy get the first goal for the Knights. That kind of hurt.
Tomas Hertl.
Yeah.
He got 2 goals that night.
Yep.
Man, that son of a
Tomas Hertl. Yeah. Smith had 2 goals though in that game, and Eklund chipped in 1 as well. Toffoli had another assist. Orlov, Celebrini, Ferraro, Gaudette. Nedeljkovic had 20 saves out of 24 chances. They were down 4-1 in that game, but they did claw their way back to make it interesting. So I did like that. They're even when they're down, they're fighting their way back. They're making it tough. They're being pain in the ass. That I love to see that. They're not giving up on anything. There's no when you lose 6-0 to Colorado, that one felt like a kick in the nuts, right? But after losing that badly, how do you respond, right? You come back, you get the win against Vancouver. Even though you lose against Vegas, you were down 4-1, you claw your way back to 4-3, you make them earn it, you make them fight, and you give them hell, right? And then on Monday, Tyler was able to get his win of the week in at the last second, in at the buzzer, 6-3 win over Utah. Toffoli had 2 goals. Smith had another 2-goal game. Regenda called up from the Barracuda, and Gaudet gets a goal as well. Apples from Smith. Celebrini had 3 of them. Orlov, Kurashev, and Toffoli had two more assists. Eklund as well had an assist. Askarov had 31 of 34. That's a 912 save percentage. Utah had their goalie change after the 3rd goal by the Sharks. That was about 7 minutes remaining in the first period. So as it stands right now, like I said, there are 13 wins, 11 losses, and 3 overtime losses. That is good enough for 4th in the division, 7th in the West. So our win of the week segment, Sam has 3 wins, I have 4 wins right, and Tyler has 3 wins right. So yeah, there we are.
I do want to say this Regenda kid, Pavel Regenda.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for him because he was basically undrafted. He plays with a chip on his shoulder, much like we hear a lot of players that do in the NFL or the NBA. But man, he was all over the net yesterday. I mean, he was just an absolute pest.
He almost made the team out of training camp. He was like one of the last guys sent down. He was really close to making the team. It didn't end up quite happening, but he was really close, man. It almost happened.
That was really good to watch him see. And then there's a thing that Colin Graft's been doing, and I noticed it against who did he play? Against Vancouver that he did that was really interesting is that he's really quick on his feet. So like when defenders want to kind of get him off of him and they'll like quickly shift sides to get the defender off of him, he's on their hip. Like he is like a cornerback just hanging on to the receiver. So Colin Graff, I don't know what they're teaching, but I would love to see everyone pick that up if they can. I know it's really hard to ask as far as like that quick movement with your skates and all that, but that has been a really treat to watch. And I like watching the nuances of defense, especially, players being aggressive on the offensive end. But I mean, obviously we got to talk about Smith's goal. Smith's goal was just unbelievable.
Oh yeah, the dirty dangle, the nutmeg,
the through the
night.
wicket, the through the wickets, the double toe drag, and then a 5-hole on the goalie. Like that's definitely contention for goal of the year so far. It may not win, but that's one hell of a goal. Yeah, that was.
I
great to watch
replayed that goal like 5 times over and kept yelling at Julia, "Watch! Look at what he did through the leg." Pause. It was like, full speed through the leg, slow down, that little stutter step, and then explosion to get the goal. I mean, it was so fucking wet, dude.
Yeah,
it was so good.
Toffoli got 2 goals last night. I mean, stick taps for him. He hadn't scored in like almost like a calendar month or something like that.
It's 13 games, yeah. But yeah, he it's been building for Toffoli because he had assists in the couple of games before that as well. So, and then he breaks out with a 4-point game. So it scores. It comes and goes, right? And he broke through big time. A 4-point game, 2 goals, 2 assists. Yeah, he was due and. He delivered, so that was good.
The last thing I'm going to say on this too is that last year, Utah was just bullying Celebrini, just absolutely bullying him. And obviously this year there was a little bit more of it in our first meeting, but I appreciate the team coming out to defend Celebrini. Anytime anybody wanted to mess with him, they were on, whoever was trying to mess with Celebrini. But I also want to applaud Celebrini because he was hip checking people last night too. He wasn't going to be the young pup getting pushed around, man. So that was great to see too. And the way they played last night and the energy, like I know that's hard to ask every single night, but that is the energy that's going to win them multiple games into the playoffs. If they can keep that energy, I know there were some miscues defensively. I know Dickinson should have stayed on this guy a little bit better, but then he got better throughout the game. So I think that was a level of a team that could play in playoff games. That's the level that they were. I'm not going to say it was a cup contention team. That's counting too fast here, but that is a team that could win a game in the playoffs. What I saw last night.
Yeah. Just a couple of notes over this past week. Macklin Celebrini got to 100 career points. He is the 8th youngest player to get to that mark. He's in NHL history. There are some of the players that have done it younger than him, include Sidney Crosby, Dale Haverchuk, Wayne Gretzky, Pierre Turgeon. He actually tied Eddie Olczyk for fastest for youngest to at the time of his 100th career point. So those are the names we're talking about. And there's a couple of other names that Brian Bellows and Jimmy Carson and like guys that played in the 1920s and 30s. Like that's the kind of names that we're talking about here. Okay,
Right.
like that's
Yeah.
like that's the kind of like names that we're talking. This is crazy bonkers stuff that we're this is legendary stuff that we're getting to witness happen. And then as far as goaltending goes, the month to month splits for Askarov, I want to talk October versus November. So in October, Askarov was 1 win, 4 losses, and 1 overtime loss. Save percentage was .844. And in November, he was 8-2 with a .944 save percentage. And so that was, we saw the turnaround, and he was lights out, right? And that includes him getting pulled in that Colorado game. So including that bummer of a Colorado game, that's a .944 save percentage and the loss. Okay, so that's monster November from Askarov there. So like that's so super impressive, and they're like just the tandem, Nedeljkovic as the veteran backstop for him.
He's looked great
Uh,
too.
Yeah, I know he had a rough night against the Knights, but he's a good solid number
Yeah.
2, man.
Yeah, so when you're
Absolutely.
looking at the stats overall, as of a couple of nights ago, Askarov has a .908 save percentage. Nedeljkovic has a .897 save percentage, and like so they're probably like they're right on the bottom end of top 10, I think, in the league right now. If you're looking at it as far as like a goalie
I did look up
tandem.
Askarov. He's 13th, but there's 3 guys tied just above him.
Yeah.
So because of the tie, he gets pushed down, but
Right.
he's a fraction of a point outside of the top 10.
Right, but I mean, like in terms of like if you're looking at a tandem that I would want, if you're gonna pair your goalie tandems up together, I think that like obviously there's like playoff teams or whatever that you would want a tandem better, but I might take that. Like I might grab the Sharks tandem and just roll with them and hope that they continue to get better and as it go along. And even if you end up trading Ned away, that you're going to get a pretty good haul, like if the Sharks do end up fading, like if injuries happen or something, God forbid, and they end up fading, Ned's going to get you a pretty good return, man. Like from a playoff needy team, or if somebody down at the Barracuda is pushing for time at the NHL level, and they need the roster spot for Ned, like you can send Ned somewhere and he'll get you a nice return.
Right.
What was your basis on the top 10 list here? Was it the save percentage?
Just like it was it was the Athletic was putting together like a goalie tandem list, like which tandem would you want, like both goalies together combined.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like the backup and the starter. That's what they were talking about. Oh, also, it was in Macklin Celebrini's 100th career point. That was also Will Smith's 100th career game. Fun fact. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's my hockey spiel there. I think that's yeah. Upcoming games. So we got to get our win of the week. So we have the home game versus Washington on Wednesday. Then we go on the road. We're at Dallas on Friday, and then we're at Carolina on Sunday. So, who do you guys want for win of the week?
I'll take the softball. I'll take Washington.
Okay. How about you, Sam?
I was going to take the lone home game, but I'll take Dallas. I'll say
We'll take Dallas.
We're going to go into Dallas and kick some butt.
All right. You know what? I don't like the 2 p.m. start. I was gonna do Carolina and take the tough one, but the 2 p.m. start is scaring me off. So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take I'm gonna take the scaredy cat path out, and I'm gonna go with Tyler and take the home game.
Cool.
All right, so there we go. We have our win of the week locked in, and
I
as
just
I
said
said before, I
okay.
think this is probably the last year of win of the week because the whole concept was this team is bad. We need to find something to cheer for, something to kind of get ourselves locked in. I don't think we need it anymore, right?
You get
But since we
next year would
started,
be loss of the week.
yeah, but I don't want to do that, you know?
Um,
Exactly.
We got
I'm
so
not
many
doing that.
damn wins. When are we gonna lose?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. So the concept of loss of the week is not something I want to do. If we're a podcast that follows the Vegas Golden Knights, I'd be happy to do loss of the week, but I don't want to follow them that closely. So um yeah, and I would choose every game for loss of the week because I want them to lose every game because screw you, Carter Hart, and screw the Vegas Golden Knights. Okay.
Wait, I saw one thing before we move on here. I saw somebody was asking on the old interwebs here, what do we do with William Eklund at this point, right? Like, do we put him on the top line? Do we put him on the second line? I kind of liked where he was in regards to him helping out with that second line, but one thing I caught my eye here was that somebody was saying that like the future, like right now we have Toffoli, we have Smith, we have Celebrini. That's your line one, right?
Mhm.
And I just got all giddy thinking about this, but the future down the road, just so you guys know, the plan is probably most likely Celebrini, Smith, and Musty at line one, Eklund, Misa, and Chernyshov at line two. I mean, that already sounds pretty fun at my God, man. I cannot wait. I cannot wait until, and then after that, once you're done with those top six guys, you could have Lund, McKinney, and Graf. Like it's just a constant flow. So I'm excited. I love the Warriors.
Plus the guys that they took some high risk, high reward guys that in a year or two there might be some wild cards in this pipeline that you're like, damn, how did we end up with that guy? So that Mike Greer did throw some darts and took some chances on some guys in the past couple of drafts that they're they're climbing. They're getting better and better. This the, they got a lot of talent throughout their system, and that's what's very exciting. And the plan for Eklund, I would say, like there's really no reason to move him. He's still young enough to be part of your core. Um, I don't think he was ever really looked at as like a superstar. I think he was just projected to be really a solid player, and I think that's what he's been. But I'm with you, man. I'm just juiced about every line. Just once these guys start coming up and proving it,
Yeah.
every player, every role, and then with Coach, Warsofsky, I love him. I watch the post game press conferences, and I love the energy. I love that he's motivating the guys, and I said it last week. This team, they're every player you're learning to love because you could see them coming together. You see the camaraderie. But this is the first time in a long time for any sport where I'm like, man, I love the coach, I love the GM, I love the players, because a lot of these guys are just a lot of fun to watch, and they're doing a hell of a job, and I'm juiced, man. It's
I I can tell you right now that something that makes me really excited here is that usually when the obviously the A's are no longer here, but when the A's and the Warriors and the Sharks all played at the same time, it was really hard to pick what was going to be precedent. Like what was I going to focus on, right? Now it's like Warriors and Sharks. What am I going to watch? Let's say last year or the year prior, it was probably going to be the Warriors, but now, man,
I
I'll tell
watched the
you,
Sharks,
I'm
dude.
watching the Sharks first. I'll watch the recap of the Warriors second. And I think that's super exciting. And it's a good time, like we said, to jump on the train if
For
you're not a
sure.
Sharks fan. So
This year, especially if the Sharks and Warriors are playing at the same time, I'm like, 80-90% Sharks. The only time I'm really watching the Warriors game is when the Sharks are at intermission.
Yeah,
See,
pretty much.
what I do is I have the tablet, and so I'll put the whichever game I want to watch more of, I'll put that on the TV, and then I'll have the other game on.
Who's on the
tablet.
big screen?
Yeah, the Sharks are on the big screen.
That's it. That's what matters.
But that's what I've always that's how I've always been though. Is I've always been the hockey guy, you know.
Okay.
So I mean that's been my whole life, you know. So as you know, as somebody who's been a hockey guy for the longest time, I welcome you, Sam. Welcome.
Yeah.
And I welcome everybody else who's joining the Sharks bandwagon now.
What's going to be
please,
interesting
come on.
too is right now they're still figuring out get it better, but at some point, barring health and injuries and let's not go there, but if everybody fulfills their potential, I often wonder about the ratings of a hockey game in the Bay Area if the Sharks were to break through, get a cup, and go on some type of run where you get multiple cups, because that potential is there with this team being this young and this talented. What would the ratings be on the West Coast for a hockey team?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Like, I think about that, man. Like, dude, like I never would have thought in a million years that the Sharks would be the talk of the Bay Area. But when you have a generational talent with Macklin Celebrini, and then no slouch in Will Smith and Michael Misa on the way, and some of these other young guys, I mean, they could be truly loaded for years to come. And because Mike Greer hasn't given out these crazy contracts, you can, in theory, keep this team together for a very long time. Of course, there's going to be some guys that you can't, but the core, you're talking about, you could keep a lot of these guys together. That's what's crazy to me, is like you could be a team that's competitive and winning for a very long time.
Yep.